Did you know that for this movie, the theme song, If We Hold On Together, performed by Diana Ross, was such a huge hit in Japan that it became a karaoke standard there. So when I was a kid, I was a really big fan of dinosaurs, and I'd say that a lot of the reasons why I was such a big fan of dinosaurs comes from The Land Before Time. I think a lot of us as kids really were just fascinated by dinosaurs. For many 90s and 2000s kids, I would say that this is definitely a childhood classic, a staple in their childhood. One reason I think that this movie is such a beautiful, emotional story. Littlefoot, a recent orphan, and he's going off to a place that he isn't even 100% sure even exists. There's actually some biblical symmetry to the journey that Littlefoot and everybody he meets goes on. It reflects a little bit of the story in the Old Testament where Moses leads the Israelites through the desert to get to the Promised Land. And in The Land Before Time, Littlefoot and everybody has to go through very dangerous locations all to get to the Promised Land, the Great Valley. Another fun thing I never really knew for a very long time is Steven Spielberg and George Lucas both had a hand to play in this movie. The animation's different. I don't really know exactly how to describe it. It seems a little more cheap animation, but there's a lot of beautiful colors and beautiful scenery. Makes it even more visually appealing. Another cool thing about this movie is each character in this movie represents a certain type of personality. There's very strong symbolism in these characters. Littlefoot you see as a leader, as someone who has faith and has hope. Sarah, a very prideful individual, someone who wants to go their own way. Ducky's the encourager, the cheerleader. She's always there to make your day better. Petrie is the timid, doubtful character. And then Spike is kind of just the chill, laid-back character who's just kind of meandering through life. Their character developments are really well done. I'd say my favorite character development out of this movie is Sarah. She was hard-headed, very prideful, always right. At the end, she realizes that she even needs help. She needs to ask for help. She doesn't know everything. It took a lot for her to accept the fact that she was wrong. I just loved how all the characters in this movie, they grew so much in their personalities. They faced their fears. Their faith was rewarded. You got a beautiful, happy ending. I'm 27 years old. I have no problem with just sitting down and watching the Land Before Time movies once in a while because they still have a special place in my heart and they just remind me of a more simple time. If you haven't seen The Land Before Time in a while, I highly recommend that you do. Take a stroll down memory lane. It's on Netflix right now, or you probably own it on DVD or some other form of media, but I would highly recommend you guys check it out again because it truly is a beautiful movie. So for The Land Before Time, I'm going to give it a 7.5 out of 10 Mudflaps. And remember to leave me a thumbs up and drop in the comments below who's your favorite character from The Land Before Time. See you next time.